lovely edition of your program, your favorite program on your airwaves. And of course, remember our mantra here is the scars you share become lighthouses to other people who are headed towards the same rocks you have hit. That is our mantra here. And a mantra is something that is of profound significance, especially when you recite and profess it for a very long time. It becomes part and parcel of you. And that is our watchword here, and that is our objective here at the Happiness Hub, to ensure that everyone's mindset and everyone's mental health is taken care of. Now, last Monday on the 10th of February 2025, we had the pleasure of our guest, Dr. Christos Etoka, who happens to be the Vice Chancellor of the Mine Engineering University in FCT Abuja and Benin City, Edo State, respectively, join us via telephone all the way from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the nation's capital. Joined us last Monday, and as luck would have it, he is joining us again this evening. And additionally speaking, the program is going to be streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages, respectively. Okay, so at Mainland 98.3 FM are the respective handles for our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so this evening we're doing a part 2 of the Mindset Makeover, rewriting the scripts of your life, part 2. And I mean, I don't need to introduce our guest. He has already been introduced. He goes by the name, once again, Dr. Christos Etoka. Good evening, Doctor.
Hey, Rio, good evening to you.
How was your weekend, most importantly?
It was great. It was incredible. How was yours?
Very well, thank you. Mine was very eventful, filled with a lot of laughter, sunshine, and most especially Valentine. How was your Valentine, I should ask?
I love our boy.
Lover boy, yeah. Well, you can say that again. I try my best. Anyway, my Valentine was very fine. I had a couple of musical gigs that I attended to over the weekend, and it was fantastic. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about every listener, and it's about you, our guests. Do you know that last Monday, because we were pressed for time and because we had so much material to give every listener out there, we couldn't take so many calls. We just took a few, and the calls kept on. You know, there was large influx of calls, and there were messages that we had to document. And as luck will have it, we have 2 important stories to share this evening, and we're hoping that as the program progresses, you will provide us with professional expertise on how you can advise these 2 people on how they can, you know, do a mindset makeover to improve the quality of their life, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Okay?
Oh, sure.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so is there anything you want to add, or is there anything you would like to talk about before we go to the thoughts or stories for this week, so that we don't waste so much time?
You know, we established the premise of everything last week.
Last Monday.
Helping people understand. You know, we started the journey in helping individuals understand where they are coming from.
Yes.
Helping people understand why their mind is the way they are. We help them trace the history, how with the 4 E's, their paradigm, their perception, how they form the current perception that they currently have. So I'm believing that today we will not just tell them the history, but we'll clear we'll clear everything. We'll clear all the baggages that need to be cleared, and we're going to look at the rudiment step by step. Physical activities that one can get involved in that can revise the script of their life. So I'm so ready for today too.
Fantastic. We're happy to hear that. Okay, so Lagos and every listener out there, both home and abroad, you've heard it from the doctor's mouth. Dr. Christos Etoka, the Vice Chancellor of the Mine Engineering University in FCT Abuja and Benin City. This evening, we're doing a part 2 of the Mindset Makeover, rewriting the script of your life. So, I just want to add this out there. We're streaming this program live on Facebook and YouTube, respectively, especially for those who do not have access to a radio facility. You can also join us via Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM and with YouTube as well at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can drop your comments there, and then you can ask whatever question you want to have. And as luck would have it, our Dr. Christos Etoka is here joining us via telephone all the way from FCT Abuja, and he will be catering to every need, especially our mental health needs, and how we can do a successful or indulge or engage in a successful mindset makeover, ultimately leading to you rewriting the script of your life. Remember, it is still the first quarter of the 2025th year, so there's still a lot of time for you to make adjustments in a way that could suit your mental capacity and ultimately boost your overall general well-being. Okay, so that has been established. Okay, so before we talk about the thoughts or stories for this week, I just want to ask you, now let's understand the 10 traits or the traits of mentally strong people. So what do mentally strong people do to achieve wellness?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay, let me take that again. Okay, so I want you to tell us the traits of mentally or characteristics of mentally strong people or people who have mental resilience. So what are the traits or characteristics of mentally strong people? What do they do to improve the quality of their life?
Exactly. I think what I would say, I'm going to say in the form of a cancer, sort of like an advice. You see,
okay.
If you want to take control of your life, it has to be in your jurisdiction of control. And when I say that, I simply mean that one doesn't have to be a feather in the wind.
Okay.
Now, I'm using that metaphor. I'm using that figure of speech to explain that for you to maintain your semblance of sanity, you have to avoid being a feather in the wind. When I say a feather in the wind, a feather in the wind blows anywhere the wind goes. Meaning, if the wind is going north, when the feather is in the wind, the feather has no direction of its own.
Okay.
The feather goes to the direction of the wind. So when you want to build a strong semblance of sanity and have a strong mentality of your own, it is advisable to understand emotional intelligence. It's advisable to build your own emotional resilience, not being a feather in the wind, because a lot of people are being pivoted in life towards the direction of others, towards the counsel of others, towards what others think, towards what people think they have, towards the counsel and the words, the abuse, the lampoon of others. So one of the traits is strong emotional resilience. Being emotionally intelligent, which is something we lack, which is something that today is not taught in our traditional university and our schools. I think emotional intelligence is as important. Our EQ is as important as our IQ. So one of the important traits that we must emulate as individuals in order to get through mental imbalance, because the truth is, the world is still a polarity. There is the principle of good and bad. We need both. Both are needed to get through the futilities of life, to go through the tapestry of life. Both of these things are needed, both the positive and the negative. So the ability to be emotionally strong, to accept all parts of life, all parts of life. If not, we'll just be a feather in the wind. When we wake up, we have a flat tire, we get angry. There are people who go through wars. You understand? So for you to have strong mental stability, it is advisable to be emotionally intelligent. It's advisable to not allow your emotions give you direction.
Overpower your intelligence.
Yes, if our emotions give us direction, it surely leads to destruction. So the concept here is that one of the values, the core value in being stable mentally, our advice is to be emotionally intelligent and not to be a feather in the wind.
Fantastic. Colorfully put and intelligently put. You heard it from the doctor's mouth, Dr. Christos Etoka. And what he has just said, I'm just going to summarize, is that for you to be a mentally strong or sound person, you need to be emotionally intelligent and not be a feather in the wind. Feather in the wind is just a metaphor in which you should have a sense of direction, and you should not just be thrown. Wind is just a representation of situations just taking you to any point of your life. So once you have a sense of direction and you know where you're going and you know where you're coming from, distractions won't get in the way and they won't stand as some sort of hindrance, obstacles towards promoting your mental well-being. Thank you very much for that, Doctor. Okay, so I think we should just quickly move over to the story so that we can have enough time to give every listener out there an opportunity to call and speak with you, because last Monday it was really wonderful. So unfortunately we could not take so much call. So we hope that the remaining part of this program The remaining minutes of this program will accommodate a lot of calls from every listener out there. Additionally speaking, once again, I just wanted to reiterate for the benefit of those who are just tuning in, we're streaming this program live on Facebook and YouTube respectively at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can always join the conversation when it gets to the point where we make it more interactive by opening up the phone lines officially to welcome calls from every beautiful listener out there. Okay, so I'm just going to read out the disclaimer so that it is put out there, especially for those who are really, really sensitive. And by no way, we're not just trying to downplay anybody's sensitivity. Okay, so the disclaimer goes as thus. The following stories we're going to be reading for the listening pleasure of every listener out there is purely for educational and informative purposes only. So it is not intended to incite any emotional reaction to anyone listening, hence its sensitive nature. All right, so Dr. Christos, are you there with us, please?
Yes, I am.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to start with story number 1. It goes, hello, Dr. Christos and Rio. Listening to last Monday's edition of the Happiness Hub truly gave me a newer and fresher perspective on life. Although I tried calling but wasn't able to get through as the telephone line was really busy, but I was forced to write this compelling story of mine with hopes I could get all the advice I need in order to transform my mental capacity. I recently got a promotion in my place of work with a raise that made me so happy after looking at my last paycheck. But the thing is, it came with a price in the sense that my work buddies look at me differently and don't want to associate with me anymore. When I delegate tasks and assign responsibilities to them, I get this vibe from them that says, when did she join us that we should be taking orders from her? And sometimes, if not most times, they purposely delay submission of the assignments and consciously postpone the responsibilities until the deadline, in which I end up doing the work all by myself. At team meetings, our group managing director passes his evaluation and commends the team for a job well done. I do not take the credit for the work, but I inform my GMD that it was a joint effort, and I do the same when the work is not good enough. Please advise me. Am I in over my head? Am I people pleasing because I feel like I'm losing my work buddies? How do I transform my mindset to strike a delicate balance between work and friendship? P.S. I have also been accused of sleeping with my GMD by my work buddies, which is untrue, but this is really eating away at my confidence. Agatha from Ogun State.
Wow.
It's a serious one, no. In fact, I just had to take out all the more interesting stories so that we could just analyze and dissect on this evening's edition of the program. All right, so please, over to you, Doctor.
Wow. You see, in the flight and in the plane of life, this particular turbulence is common. This particular turbulence is common and it's every year. And I can tell you this without missing words.
Okay.
That 90% of us currently right now speaking and those listening, one way or the other, directly or indirectly, must have experienced something similar to this, if not exactly the same
what
kind
Agatha
of
is experiencing. Yes.
Predicament. So the first thing I think I will advise whoever answers that question is to understand something called the dichotomy of control. Before I go into the nitty-gritty, before I go into the details, into the details of the advice, there's something called the dichotomy of control.
Okay, please explain.
There's something we must understand about life that can give us a solid semblance of sanity.
Okay.
And that is, there are things we can control. There are things we cannot control. You see, the acceptance to this reality and this philosophy to life can change how we view life. When you understand that in life there are things you cannot control, there are things you can control. And as a matter of fact, in the definition of emotional intelligence, it says it's the ability to influence, the ability to manage, understand, and recognize your emotion and that of others. So in saying this, people's emotions cannot be controlled. What people say cannot be controlled. So what is within your jurisdiction of control is what you say, how you see towards it, not what people say. That is not within your control. The first thing I want to whoever that is answering this question is that he or she must first of all understand that there are things you cannot control, and this is a common situation in life. Now, my advice to the person directly, sometimes, not all the time, I'm going to give an advice on both sides. Sometimes it could be just an assumption. You know, they say assumption sometimes is the lowest form of knowledge. So that is why there are some practice, there are some activity and things I'm going to tell this individual to do that will help that person gain clarity. Because the truth is, we do not see life for what it is. We see life for who we are.
Okay.
We interpret life based on who we are. Whatever we see, our explanation and definition towards that thing comes from the embodiment of who we are, comes from the realm of who we are. So sometimes, most of the time, not all, it could be from a realm of assumption.
Okay.
And for this particular individual, to gain clarity on what to do next, because you see, she's a leader. She's already in a leadership position.
Exactly.
And leadership position comes with cards like this.
Exactly.
Comes with lampoons like this. So the truth is, until clarity is made, we do not know the point to pin to it. So I think I will advise whoever answers this question to look around. There must be someone. I overheard you say that at some point she said some of them are friends and she's losing friends. So probably there are people she's so close to. I would just advise taking someone who she feels like she has a strong proclivity to. Take that person on a lunch, take that person to lunch, have dinner or lunch with that person, and talk things through, because if there is no clarity, all we have is assumption. And assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. You understand? So,
I understand you abundantly, yes.
And if this is true, it's part of life. I think because she's a leader, you cannot perceive such energy and leave it that way. Because as a team, you want the organization, you want the energy, or you want the organization to triumph. You want it to go further. And with this kind of energy, if our assumptions are factual, with this kind of energy, I believe that growth will be stunted with this kind of energy. So what I will advise this individual, I said first of all, understand that there are some things you cannot control. Understand that this is a common emotional response to things. And I'm going to say this on air right now.
Okay.
The only people who would not have a sour taste, the only people who would genuinely be happy with every stage of promotion in your life, to me, I think are your parents. I think the only people who I'm sorry, I'm saying this right. The only people who will transcend and grow above and be comfortable with it. As a matter of fact, I think your parents are the only ones who can pray the prayer that you should be better than them. You understand?
Yes.
So I think this is part of life, but as a leader, she should not just first of all know if she's assuming this thing and then find a way to curb it by interacting, communicate with the people, find a way to draw them close. Sometimes, and I'm going to say this, sometimes some of us, when we get into a new realm of life and new realm of reality, our attitude changes. Sometimes we don't do it
consciously. It happens unconsciously, okay?
Yeah, it happens. So when it changes, people now start feeling, this is, it's a normal human psychological, it's an automated response. It's just there. So it's not anything uncommon. But advice for the next step, this individual has to gain clarity, because it could just be these are just images and perception that is going in our head. So I think that is my 2 cents to this.
Wow, this story, yes. Wow. Thank you so much. Dr. Christos Etoka, you have just said a couple of things that really struck me in my heart. And first and foremost, I just want, sometimes, like you said, when you every new level you attain, you will meet new devils.
True.
You understand? That's just a metaphorical expression. You meet new devils, and the higher you climb, the hotter it becomes. So you will see, that's when you begin to see the true colors of people around you, especially those people who claim they love you or they support you in any area of your life. It could be your professional life. It could even be your it could even happen in your family. It could happen in your neighborhood. It could happen in your church. It could happen in any religion, anywhere. It could happen. So the higher you climb, the hotter it becomes. So I want to thank you for really advising Agatha from Ogun State on what she should do. I hope she's listening, and hopefully she will send in her response. So, and this issue of them accusing her of sleeping with her general managing director rather, is something that she said is really eating away at her self-confidence, and she said it's not true. You know, most times that's the assumption of most people.
Exactly.
Are you sleeping with your GMD, or are you sleeping with somebody in a managerial position, I beg your pardon, that made you attain that status? You understand? So hatred comes with it, vindictiveness comes with it, malicious intent. You see a lot of people ganging up against you, and those people that you all started together, they begin to withdraw from you because you have attained a new status like that. And you said that sometimes you change unconsciously and subconsciously. And from her story, she says that even when the team, she has assigned a task and they fail to submit the assignment at the due dates, you know, she has to do it by herself. So she was also afraid of even people pleasing. Well, thank you so much for advising her. Agatha, I hope that has been taken to heart. Once again, this is the Happiness Hub on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Joining us via telephone all the way from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is Dr. Christos Etoka. And this evening, we're doing a part 2 of the Mindset Makeover, rewriting the script of your life. We just read out the first story for the week, Agatha from Ogun State, and of course, the doctor has already advised her. So, doctor, is there any other thing you'd like to add before we open up the phone lines and make it more interactive by inviting every listener?
Okay, I think just to portray the previous last week's elucidation.
Okay.
You know, like I said last week, I just maybe share the further part of last week. Let me put it that way.
Okay, yes, definitely say class.
You know,
yeah.
Yes, you know, last week we talked about rewriting your life, but we couldn't go deep into how to. So for those listening, for today, for those joining us today, we talked about the reason why our mindset is the way it is. We went further explaining that the 4 E's, which consist of our environment,
education, experience,
and exposure.
Exposure, yes. I wrote them down.
Our mind
yes.
To the way it is right now. And I will wait for that, looking at the neurological effect of it. We talked about how the first 7 years of our life can create a paradigm that can be a battlefield for the mind tomorrow. So we talked about the problem, we talked about the issue, we talked about how we got to where we are right now. But to take it further, we need to talk about how to rewrite the script actually. For everyone listening right now, please, those who want to change the tapestry of their life, those who want to change the programming right now, they want to change their lives. They don't like, they are not comfortable
with where they
how
are.
They think right now. Yes, exactly. Because the truth is, your life is a photocopy of your mind. You see, your daily life is just a printed activity of what we embody in our mind, be it positively or negatively. So there's just some things that we must understand to create mirrors in our brain to change our life. The first thing I think I want to advise all listeners is that we need to change how we think of ourselves. We need to change who we think we are, because we cannot teach you things and practical with you having the whole mentality.
Yes.
With you not knowing who you think you are. Let me say this. Would you believe me that our philosophers, I mean, talking about people like the
Socrates, Aristotle, Thomas Hobbes, and co.
All of these guys. If you check the primitive days of Greece and Greek, as soon as you get into the temple of Delphi, the inscription at the entrance of the gate, it's very, very important to every kingdom and every culture. For instance, if you go to Edo State, you go to Benin City, once you get to the gate of the palace, the inscription on the gate sort of like is one of the most important words in that paper. Like if you go to Benin, you see you see words like that. It's something the Benin people they value. You know, when you see a Benin people, you know, and they say it's there.
Okay.
You understand? So
Yes.
these are significant words in that particular culture. Now, if you go to the primitive, even in modern day Greece, the inscription on the gates of where philosophers, people who were thinkers, the people we lack today are thinkers.
Are thinkers.
You know, they tell us not to think. Yes.
Yes.
You know, when growing up, our parents told us, don't think too much.
Yeah.
And we were created to think. Thinking is what ignites creativity.
Yes.
But that's not the subject of today right
Exactly.
now. So
Yes.
as soon as you get into that particular gate, what you see is an inscription called 𝗏𝗏 Hᴘᴘ. And 𝗏𝗏 Hᴘᴘ means know thyself.
Know
I
thyself.
can guarantee you real. If everyone here listening can talk 80% of their life. You see, the problem is that people see themselves for what people call them.
They see themselves through the eyes of other people. Yes.
Exactly. People label themselves with the ideology of what people have said about them, who people say they are. The truth is, you have to redefine who you think you are. If your name is Sarah, if your name is Michael, and tell yourself, Michael is this, I'm a great man, Sarah, I'm a great lady. Write the script of your life by changing how you think about yourself. You know, what surprises me is that our imagination is a free gift. I mean, our imagination is a strong part of us that is not in any other creature on the planet. I think I established that last week.
Yes, you did.
And then it bothers me that people want to use their mind to think about themselves. They think about the small parts of them. How can you think about yourself in life, and how can you imagine about your life, and in your imagination you are the victim? These are some conditioning that people have infused into themselves. Instead of thinking about the big part of them, they think about the small part of them. Instead of thinking about who they want to be, they think about who people say they are. And that is the greatest thing any man can say. Imagine people living their lives today from the interpretation of what people think. I saw a story real. Let me just say this before we go into other details.
Yes,
I saw a story real of an eaglet, of an eagle who lost an egg, and that egg went down to the midst of other chicken, of other under the
lower birds like poultry. Yes, that was actually our own hen, our own chickens, our own chicks. Okay.
But this eaglet, this egg was an eaglet yet to be unhatched, but it found itself in the environment. Remember, we said something about environment.
Exactly, environment, exposure, education, experience. Yes.
Of other chicks. So this eaglet got hatched alongside other chickens, and then he was moving with. So the mother looked at the mother hen. The mother hen said, "You are a chicken." Okay, mommy, I'm a chicken. You see, so many things. There's something I call honest limitation. The people who love you the most can limit you. Honestly, and they won't know it. They can say words to you, but stop. What are you saying? These are people who are close to me. There are people whose advice can limit you, and they are doing it genuinely and honestly. I call such things honest limitation. The mother hen told the eaglet, "Say you are a chicken. You don't look at your siblings. You are all chicken. I'm your mother. I'm a chicken. So I'm a mother hen. So you guys are chicks." So this eaglet, kept on growing, and sometimes you just look at the sky and see other eagles flying in the sky.
Yes.
Other eagles flying in the sky. And then the eaglet will look up and say, "Oh my God, I wish I was born an eagle." And the story goes sadly into tragedy that the eaglet died thinking it was a chicken, not knowing that it was an eagle. So what is this saying? That a lot of people are living the programming of what people think they are.
They are,
so
or they should be.
Yes, they should be. So the first way to rewrite your life as an individual is to rewrite who you think you are. Everything, Rio, can I shock you?
Please do.
Everything we think we know right now we are told. Everything. In John Locke's theory proves to us that we were born in a tabula rasa, in the blank slate. we were born with reflexes like breastfeeding reflex that children just know that when my mom just gives me, I have to start talking. We were born with some reflexes. But for knowledge, what we know, the esoteric and the exoteric, all those knowledges is what we're born with nothing. Everything we think we know right now, we're told. For instance, how do you know your name is real? You were told that your name is real.
Exactly.
So when someone told you something,
yes.
people dance for your name too. Someone told you your name. What's the lie?
And then I had my parents. I know. It's just to create some sort of just to make the atmosphere less tense. And besides, I had my parents call me that name, so I hear it, and I know that is my name. Yes.
You just accepted it. So this what is this essence I'm trying to expose? There are some things people may have told us based on who they are, not what we are. So it is calamitous for people to accept such interpretation of it's like being a tenant in your own house. It's allowing people be the landlord over your life, and that is appalling. So let me just say this scientifically. Now that is for words and for words. What I just said now is for words and for words. First of all, you have to rewrite the script of your life. Now there are some things you can do to train your brain to create new neurons. Things like, when you want to, because change is something that is hard for people, really. Change is hard. People are scared of change.
Exactly.
It will shock you to know that change is a very people love being in their comfort zone. Not realizing that your comfort zone, nothing grows there. Nothing. You can't grow when you are comfortable. Nothing on earth grows in its comfort state. Nothing made by man, nothing made by God or the universe grows in its comfort state. So when you understand that, you realize that you have to put yourself. You have to become uncomfortable sometimes to grow. Meaning you have to do the hard work. You have to be disciplined. And discipline real is doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
That is where cutting down procrastination and other things. But change is something we need as individuals to get to a new realm of life. We need to adapt to change. We need to accept change. We need to be flexible to change. And that can be done by, you can do some practices real. So sort of like exercising now.
Okay.
Exercising will help your brain create new neurons. And when your brain is used to change becomes easy for you. If by the time you start to exercise beyond minutes real, your neural connection is a process called neuroplasticity, which explains that the brain has the capacity. We are the ones limiting our brain real. The brain has the capacity to create new neurons every day. There are 500 billion neurons in a regular human's brain. 500 billion neurons in our brain.
Okay.
So the brain has the capacity it has the elasticity to create new neurons, which is called neurogenesis. Some of all these things can be done by exercising. Another thing you can do to create new neurons in your brain is when you wake up in the morning, the tradition for you is to pick up your phone, change the measurement. Just do something different. Do something, pick up a book. Do something different. If you are religious, you could pray. Do something, exercise.
As opposed to checking your phone.
Yes. When you go beyond the normal routine, you teach your brain how to understand change, how to adapt to change. Let me tell you, sometimes when I want to make my day, when I need to use my brain effectively in a certain day, you know what I do? I'll give you my routine. When I wake up in the morning, I'm right-handed. I brush my hand with my left hand. Immediately I wake up. You know what I'm doing? I'm messing up the neurons in my brain. That's like what's going on. We usually brush with our right hand, and then I activate a lot of electric spark in my brain by with my left hand. So there are so many things and some activities you can indulge in that can help you become close to change, because it doesn't happen overnight. Your current paradigm, neurology will tell you that it takes 21 days for you to create. It takes 21 days for you to start a new neurons. It takes 21 weeks for that neuron to start connecting, and it takes 21 more for the previous neurons to be disabled. So it's a journey. But for you can't just wake up and just create a sudden change. For those who are struggling with addiction, it's not. You don't just wake up and then you say, I want to change tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way. You do it gradually. And for you to wire the brain to have strong connection towards breaking and distorting neurons, you can start by just the little things I just mentioned. You know, start doing things differently. Lift things with your left hand, brush with your left hand, wake up, look at the mirror. See, there are even some self-hypnosis people can do to rewrite their life. And I'm going to say this to everyone listening. Before you sleep, your brain goes into a mood called a theta brainwave. It lasts for just 5 minutes. That moment where you leave your hyper consciousness and you are gradually going into your theta brainwave. The brain spends 5 to 10 minutes in the realm called the theta brainwave, and that is where reprogramming happens. So if you want to rewrite the script of their life, want to change their life, they have to. One step hypnosis in that one can do is to put on an earpiece, listen to good words of affirmation. I am great. I am this. I am that. I am prosperous. You know, just if you listen to that, if your mind listens to that in that theta stage before you sleep, if you do that consistently, it becomes your reality.
Exactly. It
becomes your reality because your thoughts have the formidable force to print out your reality, to print out your life. So it is important for individuals to mind what they listen to, mind what they are assimilating,
exactly what they are consuming. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. These things will change the journey of your life. You know, when you listen to yourself, you are this, you are that, you can't be anything, you can't be that. All these things we sink into you and become your reality. That you no longer think, you only think about what you do not want instead of thinking about what you want. So some hypnosis that you can, you know, go into, you could just put your earpiece before you sleep, you know, listen to words of affirmation, words of what you want to become and all that. If you are just confused, let me just stop here really. This is my
wow, because
I can go on and on.
Because at some point I was like, wow, the things coming out of your mouth, it shows that your mind is really running at, how will I put it now, 500 MPS or something. Wow, there's so much material they are giving us this evening, and we are really grateful, Dr. Christos Etoka. Once again, this is the Happiness Hub on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. This evening, we are doing the Mindset Makeover, Rewriting the Script of Your Life, Part 2. Okay, so let's just make it more interactive now, Doctor, by opening up the phone line so that if there's any question from any caller, from any listener, and then we can conference them in and they can join the conversation. Okay, so if you'd like to join the conversation or possibly respond to the story that we read, the first story that we read this evening, or you would like to share your own story on how you can engage or indulge in a mindset makeover, you can please call the number directly 0913 600 0410. That is the number to call directly or nationally. The doctor is on the line, and then we'll conference you in. You can ask your questions or possibly share your story. You can also send a text message to that number 0913 600 0410. We're streaming this program live on Facebook and YouTube respectively at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can always join the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section. Okay, so if you are unable to call, you can always drop your comments there and we'll read them there and you can ask your questions. Okay, fine. And there's the option of WhatsApp as well, WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp is 0913 600 0430, but for telephone calls it is 0913 600 0410. Beautiful. Okay, so doctor, while we wait for calls, thank you for giving us the information on how mentally strong people operate, or what we can do to be mentally strong people, or what we can do to achieve mental resilience. I really like the fact that you talked about emotional intelligence, and this is something that many of us need to practice. And you also said something that is very, very significant and very vital. Know yourself. It all boils down to self-awareness. A lot of us, we are not even self-aware. We don't even know how to regulate our emotions. We just talk carelessly, we act carelessly, and then when people are pointing out some of the things we say out of our subconscious or maybe consciously and that we're not even aware of, we tend to say, oh, did I really say that? Or, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or possibly I was just joking. You understand? And it now becomes a part and parcel of us. But let me just suspend that and take this call, please. All right, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What is your name, please, and where are you calling from?
I'm Yemi from Surulere.
Yemi from Surulere. Okay, Yemi, we're listening. Please go ahead.
Oh, my case is pathetic. I discovered since 2020.
Okay.
I changed jobs, and I'm making good money.
Okay.
Rather than whatever I'm making earlier on, even before the COVID. But I have a problem.
Okay.
I'm addicted to gambling.
Wow.
Okay. So, and I try on my own to see what I can really do. I've been battling with it for almost 5 years now.
Wow.
Somehow.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I gamble, I make money, and then I take the money back. I lost it again, and it has been a recurring thing. So in a whole year, I may lose like 2.53 million naira in a year to gambling.
Wow.
I've tried on my own to get out of it.
Okay.
And it is not working. I need a professional. I've been thinking about to get a professional advisor, pick a counselor that would counsel me. So when I listened to you last week.
Oh, thank you.
And I feel that's the reason also why I take time and said I am going to be here today.
Okay.
And then if there's any help I could get. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We really appreciate you, Yemi. Thank you for calling, okay? All right, so, Doctor, would you like to respond to that, please?
Yes. Not it's something that we need to use time conversation entirely. That on that day we are just going to be talking about in mindset makeover. We're going to talking about addiction, how people get addicted
to things,
yes, and how people can come out of it. The truth is, addiction is not just only about gambling and all these other things. You can be addicted to sugar.
Yes.
Sugar is not illegal, but you could be addicted to sugar. But let's talk about the elephant in the room now. You see, gambling is a paradigm, and a paradigm is a multitude of habits. If there was time, I would have explained habits and how we get into that realm.
Okay.
But you see, when there are two matters of the brain, it is one called the white matter and then the gray matter.
Okay.
The gray matter is where we find a particular part of the brain called the hippocampus, which is responsible for things like this. So the gray matter of the brain, when you do things over and over again on a consistent basis with repetition, it gets stuck in the gray matter. And according to neurology, the brain matter has a stronger possession or authority according to neuroscience than the white matter. So even when your white matter of your brain is saying, this is hitting me deep, this is causing me injury, when it's giving you this thing, because the gray matter has a higher authority, and because one has built it over and over again, it holds so much authority. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, this is something that we have to tackle on a long stretch, in explaining it step by step. But my advice, for this individual is that this is one thing you must understand. Do you know that in the faculty of the mind, we cannot subtract a thing from our mind? We can't.
Okay.
There are two things we do. We can in our university, in the Mind Engineering University, you know what we call it? We call it the board mass of the human mind. They told us board mass, division,
brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Yes.
Exactly.
So without the S, so it's now board ma. Okay.
Yes. So the brain does not understand division and subtraction. The brain cannot.
Okay.
For instance, when you try not to think of an elephant, you realize that you just thought of an elephant. You need saying you not think of an elephant. So the brain,
whether you say it out or you say it in your mind, right?
Exactly, it's there.
Okay.
So the brain does not understand subtraction. So we cannot subtract something from the brain. We cannot cause a division to the brain. But there are two things we can do. We can add and multiply, really. So when people want to remove a certain activity, some certain neural connection, we call it neural connection. People want to do that, they either add a new addiction. When I mean addiction, I don't mean something, it could be you are addicted to praying. I'm just using that for those
as an example. Yes, who are religious. Okay.
Yeah, for those who are religious, you could do something else. You could be a sport activity that you choose to get addicted to. So in the neural circle, you either add or you multiply. So you either add new activity or you multiply. So I would just say maybe we have another time to talk about serious issues like this. We can go into detail, talk about the movement step by step. This. But in this short conversation, I will advise that individual to look for something that satisfies that desire.
Okay.
To look for something that satisfies something else. Something else that satisfies that desire.
You reminded me of something,
yes,
Doctor. Somebody once told me that to replace or to overcome an addiction, you have to replace it with another. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Yemi.
Wow. And I think maybe when we have another makeover, rewriting of your mind, we could just center it maybe on addiction. And then we could now start giving an example. If you are going through this addiction, these are the steps to take, and these are some similar things you can replace it with. These are some similar things you can replace this addiction with. The truth is that every one of us, one way or the other, we have something we are addicted to.
Yes.
Rio, I am addicted to studying about it, to study the human mind. I'm addicted to that. I meet other addictions. So we must understand that be it positive or negative, it's something to deeply talk about. That if we start talking about it in detail, we will not live here.
We will not live here, honestly. Thank you. We could tell. But that's because you have so much material to give, and what you're saying is very substantial, and it is very, very important. So that is why it has so many elements. So that's why we can talk about it here.
Yeah. Let's give accolades to that man who just answered questions.
Yes, Yemi from Surulere. Yeah.
Exactly. Let us applaud him because he takes a lot of
courage to really voice out. Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
I like the fact that he's even self-aware. He's self-aware because some people are not even aware. He's self-aware. That's the self-awareness we're talking about. But when it comes to the possibly trying to curtail the addiction, I think that's where the issue lies. But I hope with that, so Yemi, if you're listening, I hope that you've learned that what the doctor has said, that to overcome addiction, you replace it with another, but something positive. So you addict yourself to something positive, and then you overcome the addiction of gambling. Okay, so if you'd like to still join the conversation, the phone lines are still open. 0913 600 0410, 0913 600 0410. You can call that number and then we'll conference you in. Additionally speaking, we are streaming this program live on Facebook and YouTube respectively at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can please join the conversation by dropping your comments in the comment section, live section of the comment box there. And of course, we'll read your comments, and possibly if you have you want to share your story, you want to share an experience, then please, the phone line is open. Okay, so you don't need to pay any money. 0913 600 0410 is the number to call nationally. You can always send a text message, and if you prefer to stay anonymous, fine, that's fine, but you will truly respect and honor your decision to do so. Okay, so doctor, all right, so doctor, are you with us, please?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so while we wait for calls, because I just saw that we missed one call, I think I was trying to sort out some things here. Okay, so maybe I should read story number 2.
Okay.
This story number 2 is very funny. Okay, but I'm not laughing because it is something that I'm taking lightly, but I'm laughing because of some certain words that the storyteller, or rather the person, sent as an entry. This is Ade from Ikeja. He's 27 years old. Ade says, and I quote, "I couldn't get a chance to call last week as the line was busy. I have been in a relationship for a year and counting with this girl who is an expert at mind games and emotional manipulation. It is as wait first now. It is as if she knows when to switch on my mumu button. As when she intentionally starts an argument, she has all the words to say that leaves me defenseless. But the moment she leaves, I remember some valid points when I'm in the bathroom I could have used to counter her. This year's Valentine was a true testament to her toying with my mind as I get accused of things I didn't do. I am a struggling young man and I made sure to get her gifts on Valentine's Day, but her reaction was that of ingratitude as she started comparing me to her friends' boyfriends. I know I am not perfect and Lord knows I have my own baggage, but how do I become mentally strong but not to the point of being cold? Ade from Ikeja. It's just the mumu button. It's the mumu button that made me laugh. That's and then the fact that he said that he could remember some points that he could have used against her when he's in the bathroom, not in the moment when she's happy. So, which is why he said that she's very good at mind games and emotional manipulation. So, doctor, over to you, please.
Oh my God! There are two cancer I want to give good advice and bad advice.
Wow. Okay, please. I think we start with a good one, please.
No, but I'm not even going to talk about the bad one at all.
Please don't. So that would not ruin Ade's confidence, please.
Exactly. You see, I don't know the part there. You see, she says she wins all every argument. That when he leaves this thing. That when he leaves this thing,
exactly,
he starts remembering something.
And he said he remembers it in the bathroom. Sure, you get
when he's in his quiet time.
Exactly.
Okay, the question is a very sensitive question. Let's not you can joke around it. Okay.
Exactly.
So, he said she wins every argument. I think that life is not white and black. Life is gray and real. And the way I see life. Who cares about winning an argument or losing an argument? You see, when it comes to marriage and relationship, I believe that there are no templates to it. This is my belief. I believe that there is no template to it. There's no this is the way it is. It all depends, on the individual. There's no template to marriage. There's no, some people, there are so many men who are out there, they don't care about winning an argument, they care about peace. There are so many women out there, they don't care about winning an argument. It's not about who is right and who is wrong. It's not life. So some people they don't view life from that scope.
Okay.
They're just conscious of let there be peace. You understand? It's not about I win, I lost. There's no contending. It's not about winning. See, for me, when it comes to marriage and relationship, I don't cancel on those matters because there are no templates to it. I can tell you really what can work for you may not be what would work for me. But on the aspect of ingratitude, I heard that part.
Yes.
Ingratitude itself is a disease. It is a virus. That giver cannot cure. Ingratitude is a virus that giver cannot cure. It's only the receiver who can diagnose himself or herself and cure themselves. So the aspect of ingratitude is terrible. You understand? When people are not feeling grateful for what you do for them, it means they don't value what you do for them.
Exactly.
You understand? So I don't pray or wish for anyone to be in such prison. Being in the prison of ingratitude. The disease actually, like I call it that. And when we hear the word ingratitude, we know it as a disease. That you as a giver, you cannot cure at all. It's only the receiver that can diagnose themselves and cure it. But I'm going to tell you this. When it comes to marriage and relationship, there are no templates to it. And when it comes to relationships, there are no templates. There's no ABC to get to there are no templates to it. Just, find out what works, find out to communicate, find out to communicate with your partner, find out how to get understanding there. You understand? How to build understanding. And like I said, so some men, some men are some couples, they don't care about winning and losing. You see, it's just about peace and how we can communicate with you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So I would not sit here and give an advice and say this is it. Do ABC, because there are so many people listening here. The problem we have in when it comes to dishing out knowledge, I'm going to say this on it, is that people take a formula that works once and share it to the world that is a formula that works forever.
Wow.
That is the problem with knowledge we have.
Okay.
See,
because it's not mathematics.
Exactly.
It's not chemistry. It's not physics.
Exactly.
These are static things.
So
wow.
There are no templates for it.
Anyway, thank you.
My own.
That's your own 2 cents. I wanted to add this. So Ade from Ikeja, if you're listening, I just wanted to add this. I believe when you are arguing when you because some people argue to argue. I don't know if you understand that. Yeah, some people argue to argue, but some people argue about what is right and not who is right. So they are hard. You understand? So they are hard.
Yeah.
They are very hard on the problem and not the person.
Wow.
They are hard on the problem but soft on the person. So it's all about reaching a consensus and knowing that, okay, fine, it is not about, I'm not attacking your character, and that is what many of us are guilty of. We would rather assassinate the person's character than to talk about the problem. So that's why we have so many relationship problems. And we talked about this when we did relationships versus situationships. When you cannot put a label on a relationship, then it is a situationship. So it's best you come out from that situationship. When you cannot clearly define something, it is just better you just call it quits so that it does not lead to heartbreak. Because they always say that William Shakespeare said the greatest disappointment anyone can face is it comes from your own expectations. So when you expect too much from people and little from yourself, you'll be heartbroken all the time. Anyway, don't mind me. I don't want to. let's not talk too much. Yeah. Doctor, I learned from you. Because you said some things that just made me remember a couple of other things. So we have to go now. So is there anything you want to say before we end the show? Hello, doctor.
I will just say this in 2 seconds.
Okay, please do.
That is, we cannot overcome what we see. As a cat, if we look at the mirror and we see a lion, that is who we become. As lions, if we look at the mirror and we see a cat, that is who we are.
Yeah.
We can never overperform the first image of ourselves. That is why my advice to every listener again is that think big. Wow. It doesn't cost the brain more brain power. It doesn't stretch your brain to think big. It doesn't stretch your brain to think big than it is to think small. Thinking is thinking. Yeah. So why think small? I advise everyone, think big.
Okay.
A wise man once said, if your dream does not cost you heavy, you are not dreaming big enough. So I advise everyone in our nation, everyone in our country, everyone in...
Wow, okay. Well, I think we lost that call. Wow, so sorry about that. Anyway, you heard it from the doctor's mouth. I think this is where we have to draw the curtains close on this evening's edition of the program, The Happiness Hub. Join me same time next Monday. Apologies if we could not read your messages, but we'll see you same time next Monday on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Up next is Love and Light, or rather Love and Life with Kemisola from 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. And from 10 p.m. till 12 midnight will be Flower Girl Banter on your airwaves. I'd like to say, most importantly, thank you to Dr. Christos Etoka and thank you to Daisy Yimral for streaming this program on Facebook and YouTube. You can still drop your comments and we'll read them hopefully next Monday. Remember, the scars you share become lighthouses to other people who are headed towards the same rocks. You have it. My name is Rio, and thank you for listening. I'll see you same time next Monday.